CHICKEN. Use the code CHICKEN in the shop. CHICKEN. Use the code
Hey guys, the
CHICKEN.
chicken is here. We're back today with another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, very excited because, man, this is one of those days where I'm like, you get so frustrated with warships, and then you have a day like this, and it's like, oh, this is why I play the game. But it was so much fun. Everything that we've been talking about for the last few videos, the last few days, we've just been kind of working our way up to this point to get the troop damage, to get the sky shield, and to add that to our bombardiers, and just everything came together. Now, it was a grind to actually get to 23. But I got to about 2280 from where I was yesterday, 2150, something like that. Maybe even lower, actually. So, as soon as we got the troop damage, we just flew. We took right off, and that was exactly what we needed. So right now, let's take a look at this. Right now, we are... I was top 200 at one point. I don't know if we're still there. It's gonna be close. Gonna be close. Oh, number 195. There we go. So, top 200 in the world, which is pretty cool. And we have, at the time of now, 6 days left in the season. So, we're coming close to the end of it. But the good thing is, since I kind of switched from base riding to jumping ahead, and I was able to rank up a few times, get those rank chests, I was able to get the next best thing. And we honestly just made like the perfect tech tree choice of the season, because I didn't have a lot of starting tech. Just every decision we made was just perfect. And we switched up the base at the right times. We switching up the base at the right times, pushing when you needed to. You notice the last few days I didn't really push at all, just because it wasn't a good time. But anyway, so that's where we're at now. Now what we can go back and do is we can go back and do a couple things. So first we want to get our next sky shield. And then I'm pretty sure we want to get that building damage before we go back. We want to get the building damage. We want to get the second sky shield. We want to get this doom cannon over here. And we also need to get, pretty quickly, our mortars from down here. So we got a lot of stuff left to do. But we got all the big things out of the way. And we got that rank 23 chest, which is really going to help us. And hopefully we can get up to, I don't know, where the cutoff for top 500 is going to be. I think the consensus is around 25 for the season, but we'll see. We'll see. 6 days left. You know, a lot can happen, a lot can change. So let's get into these last few attacks here. But you see what kept happening? It was like I get up to 23, like the boss fight, like the last battle that you get before you actually hit the rank. I'd get up to there, I'd lose. I get up to there, I'd lose. I get up to there, I'd lose. So we finally were able to put it together on these last few hits. But yeah, in terms of the attack, pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. This was a weird base, but I mean, I'm typically just dropping them all from the bottom, and depending on where they go, we want to keep them in the right path a little bit. But for the most part, they just kind of do their own thing. I like to throw a Kavan a little bit late if I don't need him at the start, because I don't want him running into all those heavies and potentially dying early. Because we 100% need our second winds to do this. This guy didn't have rocket launchers. This was kind of a weird base, actually. But the problem is getting around the sky shield, especially since I don't have barrage or artillery. We just have to kind of power our way through it, which is not really the greatest thing, the greatest way to do it. But you see, most of these times are actually pretty slow. Well, what happened was, and all these guys were in rank 23 for the most part. They were all ahead of me in rank. But what kept happening was I would run up against these guys, and they were using some variation of Seekers in their attacks, and they were really amazing. I'll find some. We'll go over some of them next, actually, because they were really crazy to watch. Just these, it would happen, and I would lose the battle, and the times were crazy. It was like, you'll see in a sec, like 230, 240, 250. I didn't see any 3 minutes, but it was pretty close to that, and yeah, just these wild Seeker hits were what was holding us back from getting the rank a little bit earlier, but we just kind of stuck with it, and eventually we're able to get up and beyond to that next rank. So, yeah, the next plan is, we got to get that building damage. I think that's going to be a big help, especially since we've got all the defenses except for mortars unlocked. I think that's just going to help slow them down even more, and once we get the building damage and we get those 2 doom cannons, that's really going to help against the heavy choppers and that kind of thing. Now, most of the bases, or all of the bases I'm going up against now, are pretty well max tech. I mean, it's not going to make it a huge, crazy difference, but let's take a look at some of these. 230, 29, 233. Okay, maybe I exaggerated that a bit, but there was definitely some crazy seeker attacks before, so I want to show you guys this just so you have an idea of how to do it if this is something that you're interested in using. So he's going bullet from the right and then seekers from the left, and he's taking out the doom cannon, which is kind of interesting. That was kind of a weird seeker drop. I'm not sure why he did that, because those ones look like they're just going to die. Unless that's all he needed to take out that engine? No, they're just going to die. So he taunts this side. And I don't see any heavy choppers. This is just straight seekers for the most part. Straight seekers and bullet. So I'm assuming that he has smoke. Otherwise this would probably not work that well. So then he's got critters going in. And I mean, if I'm watching this, I'm thinking there's no way he's going to finish. He's got to come up to the shock launcher over here. He's got all the shock mines, the splash damage. Now, before this, I did move these shock mines because I was watching the replays and none of the seekers were going that way. They were all just going forward. So, yeah, I think that might have helped a little bit in slightly deterring them. Just giving them another, round of shock mines to have to work around. You got to spend more GBE or it's going to hit them and they're going to get killed by something else. But he comes in at the end with his smokes, and look at this. I think the shock actually hits him once, or it hits him from behind or something, but he still gets it down. Like, look at this. He's only got like 2 or 3 seekers there. That's all he needed. And yeah, I thought I fully shocked him on that last one, but I guess there was one that popped out. So that was super frustrating because I was watching that live and I believe that was a boss fight. But yeah, the seekers, man, they're out of control. Absolutely out of control. Now, if we watch some of these guys, I think what they were doing was heavy choppers and Zookas for the most part. Or heavy choppers and bombers or Zookas. I still see some people using heavy choppers and Zookas. Don't get down on yourself if you think because you can't get bombardiers early or within the next little bit that you're not going to be able to compete. There's still guys using heavy choppers and Zookas and they're doing it really well. It just depends on the base setup and that kind of thing. But yeah, still definitely viable. Still definitely viable at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, for right now, I think I'm not actually going to attack in this video. We're just going to go over replays and the tech tree and that kind of thing. Just because I want to make sure it's a good, it makes sense when I do push next, because I want to be careful about, our finish here. But we'll see what happens. But like I said, the next play I think is going to be moving over this way, grabbing that sky shield, and moving up towards the building damage. I think we'll get that first. Then we'll worry about the stuff in the back. I don't need more GBE. We're going to stop at this Doom Cannon for sure. And then mortars. And I think then we can start to add some offensive stuff. Maybe barrage and artillery. Medkits would definitely be nice. It does kind of suck, though, because to get to mortars, we do have to go through medics. Which is a bit unfortunate because they're not going to help us out at all. It's one of those key vacuums that we always talk about. This was a key vacuum to get to mortars. Any way you slice it, going through the critter cannons. Critter cannons had a minute where they were okay, but I mean, just long term, they weren't a really good option, and therefore not really worth the keys that you're spending on them. So that's why I skipped them early on, and we skipped a lot of stuff. This season. I typically don't play like this where I try to skip ahead, but it was working. So yeah, I didn't know. I thought a big mistake was going to be going to 7 and getting bombardiers and not having all the stuff that we just talked about, the Doom Cannons, mortars, and enough keys to really jump ahead and unlock some of this good stuff after 7 engines. I thought that was going to set us back, but it ended up working out for us, so I was happy with that. But yeah, 70R and bombardiers, that's a push point for sure. It's not amazing, but 70R, bombardiers, and the troop damage. And, I guess the sky shield was pretty nice too. It definitely helped slow down the attack. And before, when I first got it, I had it over here. That was definitely the wrong spot. I have it over here with the shock blaster. This actually isn't anyone's base. This is just, I think this is, I think it's Teen Wolf's base. Look how good Canada is now. I'm barely in the top 10, and I'm top 200 in the world. Teen Wolf. I think it was this guy's base that I copied, just without the second sky shield. Yeah, so this base is pretty awesome. But what I don't understand is he doesn't seem to have a shock blaster, a flotsam cannon, or whatever that other one was, because I have a shock blaster under my sky shield over here. I'm not sure what he chose instead, or if he skipped that node, or where that node even is. I think it was before that one, no? Yeah, right here. I guess he could have skipped it, but yeah, I did go out of my way to get this one. It's only a shock blaster 1 too, so it's not that exciting. But either way, there it is, guys. That's how we got up to rank 23. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to use the code chicken in the shop. It does expire every 7 days, so I gotta plug it in. CHICKEN. Use the code chicken in the shop. Catch you next one, guys. Chicken out. Back.